Hello, friends, and welcome back to Pod-ket Monsters, a show where Poke fans come together to nerd out about our favorite little pocket monsters. My name is Dustin Cunningham, and this handsome man joining me as always, the James to my Jesse, Jeff Grizz Ulrich. Jeff, how are you today?
I get to be the James. He's the dumb one.
I didn't even think about that. I was like, I'll just take Jesse. I'll give you James.
I mean, it's not like Jesse's exactly brilliant herself, but whatever.
No, I don't. I wouldn't really consider either of them like the smartest. But Jeff, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much.
Yes. Yes. We don't talk very often, just basically every day.
Basically every day.
All right, and you may have noticed that we have a guest this week. He's someone I feel needs no introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to our guest, Mr. Ethan E-Man Brannon. Ethan, how are you today?
I'm good. I guess that makes me Meowth, which I'm cool
with.
Yes, yeah. Meowth is actually the brains of the operation.
Yeah.
Which is definitely why we made you Meowth.
Hi, everybody.
And as tradition, when we have a guest, we'd like Ethan to tell us a little bit about some of his favorite Pokemon memories. So, Ethan, what are some of your favorite Pokemon memories?
Oh, easy. Okay. So I saw this in the show notes last night, and I immediately thought of this story. So one memory that sticks out is when my sister and I were kids, we were really into the first movie, like when it came out, and like we had all the gold cards from Burger King, all the stuff. But the memory that sticks out though is when we went to see the movie. So our dad takes us after a long day from work, and he falls asleep. He's falling asleep through the whole movie, the entire movie, which now I don't blame him for that. But back then I was like, are you serious? This is so cool. How could you do that? Like, Ash died. How could you miss that? And he's like, oh no, I saw it. I'm like, Dad, what happened? And he's like, I don't know. Pokemon fought. There were some lasers. It was cool.
He's not wrong.
And he wasn't wrong. Like, he was getting the details right. I was like, yeah, okay, all right then. And he goes, did you have fun? And I said, yeah, it was fun. And that's just something that sticks out in my head all the time.
He's like, man, an extra hour and a half or like a little.
Yeah, he's like,
sleep after work.
He's like, a whole 75 minutes of this? I can't do this.
Yeah, he's like,
I guess I'll just
take a quick nap.
I'll take a nap.
Yeah.
But he did check to make sure you enjoyed it, and that's nice.
Yeah, it was a good time. But like,
that's the important part.
Now that I think about it, he did it with Pokemon. He did it with every Star Wars movie. Like, that's just what he did. But that was a good way to spend our weekends.
I'm just saying, how bad do you need a nap that you're willing to pay $15 to go sit in a theater so you can nap?
I was gonna say I totally understand sleeping through the prequels, but that's not what we're here to talk about. What's your favorite Pokemon generation?
Probably can't the first one.
That's
like the original 150.
That's fair. I really do feel like a lot of people in our age group.
Yeah.
That's their favorite. Okay. What's your favorite Pokemon film?
This one.
Okay.
The one that we're going to talk.
I was also going to say, I don't know if you know this, but Detective Pikachu does count in this.
Oh, that's hard. No. I would still probably. Oh my gosh! Don't do this to me.
Listen, I get it because I always have to separate them. I say Detective Pikachu is my favorite Pokemon movie, but of the animated movies, Pokemon the movie 2000.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that because like Detective Pikachu stands on its own. Yeah. Like until the second movie comes out, like it's the first one in live action. So how can that not be your favorite one?
That's especially when you grew up with it. Like so much. So yeah.
But other than that, Pokemon the movie 2000 like ended up being my favorite one. I like it even better than the first movie.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit more once we like actually get through the plot and everything like that. But all right, what is your favorite Pokemon type?
Oh, I thought about this. Psychic.
Psychic is good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And I'll tell you why. It's because when I was a kid, I was obsessed with that Pokemon arc in the animated series when they go and see Serena.
Oh yeah,
the
Sabrina's gym
they go
was
in.
so cool.
Yep.
Yes.
That was a
Yeah,
really good
like-
stretch of episodes. Like
Mhm.
anything involving.
I mean, let's
They
be
get
real. That
shrunk
was
down in that, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like the creepiest episode in Pokemon. Is they get put in that
It's-
dollhouse.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's so creepy that for a while they wouldn't even air those episodes outside of, like after the original air dates.
I often get it confused with the this is like a totally not related to Pokemon, but the episodes of Dragon Ball Z, the filler episode where they're like trying to find Namek, and they end up like in something similar where they're like in a small house or they're like
yeah,
a giant
I
house.
know
It's just one of the
exactly what
filler
you're talking
episodes, but
about.
yeah.
It makes me
okay.
think about it though. Did the old Pokemon episodes have filler? Did they ever have filler episodes, or was it just like
90%
the show
of
is just
Pokemon
kind of
anime is
filler?
Like 98%.
There's like one episode every 20 episodes that's not filler. So
So it's kind of
and
like
they're
the
like,
show. That's just the show.
yeah, basically.
Honestly, the reason why I like the movies so much is because the movies weren't the filler episodes. The animated series was filler, and then these films, especially the first 3, were the actual story. Or
Yeah, it was epic
kind of felt
stuff.
like
Yeah.
yeah.
Ethan, who was your favorite Pokemon?
Oh, Eevee.
Eevee
Always.
easy.
Eevee. Yeah, that was
This was a
easy.
mistake. I'm sorry. We're ending it now. This has been great, everybody.
No, I've been putting up with your Pikachu shenanigans for so long, Dustin. We're having
Pikachu's
an Eevee
great.
moment. Pikachu's great,
But-
no, not trying to
Yeah,
And
remove
I'll be
Pikachu.
quiet. You guys just talk about Eevee for a minute. Go ahead.
But
Get it
like
out.
Eevee literally can be whatever it wants to be, and that's like what you want in life. Like that's
Exactly. Evolutions are cool.
Yeah, but we use that
Listen,
argument
like-
with every Pokemon we rank on this show, Dustin, is their abilities to evolve into different Pokemon increases their cool factor with us. So by, definition.
We've talked about how Fennekin is literally the only cool Pokemon in that line.
No, I said but their ability to evolve into cool Pokemon is what makes them cool. So like
Listen, I guess my favorite evolution is Umbreon because like the dark. Yeah,
There we go.
it just looks cool, but you have to start as Eevee, so like that makes Eevee the coolest.
Eevee is unlimited potential. That's the
cool
thing about Eevee. And
Pikachu's
also,
great. Don't get me wrong; he's the mascot of the whole franchise.
Oversaturated. We get too much of him. Too much Pikachu.
So do you not like Mickey Mouse?
He's not my favorite Disney character by any means. Give me more Winnie the Pooh.
Accurate.
Give me more Winnie the Pooh.
I mean, give me more Eeyore, but that's a whole other.
Eeyore's my guy.
Might as well go eat worms.
All right, so Ethan is joining us today to help us review what is arguably the best animated Pokemon film, Pokemon the Movie 2000. We'll go through the plot of both the Pokemon the Movie 2000 and Pikachu's Rescue Adventure and share our thoughts. But first, let's dive into the news. Hit the theme song, Jeff.
News.
All right, first up, the newest Pokemon TCG set has apparently leaked. The new set is called Pokemon Sword and Shield Evolving Skies and will launch in late August. No other additional information has been available at this time. Now, the reason I bring this one up because it is a leak, but there's actually a logo that's come out as well too, and it's similar to when Chilling Reign was leaked, and I think it's like even the same person that leaked it. So I more so believe it, and the fact that it's called Evolving Skies as well too makes me think that it's going to have to do with that Eevee set that we were talking about in the pre-show that's coming out. Like I think that that's going to be when they translate it to English. A lot of those Eevee cards will come over to this.
So how does that work with the skies part? Because usually
I don't know.
The two have to be tied together.
I saw something talking about hold on, let me say this right. Rayquaza
nailed it.
Possibly being involved. Based on the way the font looks. Jeff, have you seen the logo for this at all?
I have not seen it yet.
Yeah, let me see real quick if I can find it.
While you're sending it, here's my hypothesis before even looking at the logo. I am thinking that Evolving Skies were, Pokemon evolve, sure. But what else has evolved within Pokemon is the different regional types of Pokemon. So I think this one's going to be focused on our 3 legendary birds that they changed for Sword and Shield's downloadable content.
See, those have to do with Chilling Reign as well. There's actually an alternate art in Chilling Reign for each of those cards. It looks really cool.
So they already have those in the Chilling Reign set?
I think so, because Chilling Reign was based on another Japanese set that's translated over, and so I think that's where it's going to show up. Let me send you this.
I mean, that would make sense because Chilling Reign. I mean, I thought Chilling Reign was the big gets were going to be Glassdryer, Spectrier, and Calyrex.
What's the best way for me to send this to you? Should I just direct message this to you,
or send it in the Discord? Either one. I can click in both places. Okay, well, so maybe it's not going to be the legendary birds in this new one, but that made sense to me because it was skies. But
I just sent it in the general chat. So
the fact that Rayquaza is so tied to the skies of Pokemon as well, that does make a lot of sense.
So apparently the actual release, the like rumored release date would be August 27th. I haven't looked up like what day of the week that is to see if that would fall in line, but I think they typically release on Fridays.
I lied, Dustin. I can't look at the Discord right now because it messes up the cameras.
That's fine. That's fine. So basically, the logo is essentially when it says evolving, it's all in green. And then for skies, it's kind of like a yellowish color with almost like a wing underneath it. So I'm not exactly sure. But it's saying it's very likely the set is based on the Japanese main expansion set S7D, S7R, Skyscraping Perfect / Blue Sky Stream. Let's see. We think Rayquaza V and VMAX and Duraludon V and VMAX from that set will make their debut in Evolving Skies. So that's where the whole like Rayquaza. How did we decide this was said? Rayquaza. So I'm pretty excited about it. Although we still haven't even like gotten the next set that's coming out. There's already another set that's planned for 2 months afterwards. But
all these new sets, and you won't be able to buy them at Target.
I know, or anywhere ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. I know a guy who knows a guy who owns a card shop.
Who knows the guy?
Jeff.
That's true, and he's actually going to be on the show here soon.
Yes. So what do you think about this, guys? I know, Ethan, you're not really into the whole collecting card thing.
I haven't. I know everyone kind of like rediscovered it, but
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this right now. Don't buy into the hype right now because it's so hard to get cards. You're just going to be disappointed.
Right.
Like, it's not as much fun when I have to wake up at like 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning to get on Target to be able to buy Pokemon cards.
Well, you're not going to have to worry about that anymore.
Why?
No.
Oh, well, so Target's still selling cards online. They're just not selling them in stores.
Oh, that's right.
That's these poor children.
I've never had luck with in-store purchases anyways for Target, so online for me is like, it actually gives me a fighting chance to maybe get some cards.
I think you're going to lose out to people using purchase bots.
Yes and no. I've had luck. I mean, like most of the stuff that I have unopened in my house came from Target, like getting lucky and buying it. But I've used it enough to where all my information is saved and everything, so I just kind of add it real quick and then go through. But yeah, I think it's cool that there's another set. Again, it always sucks that it's hard to get Pokemon cards right now. Hopefully that'll change, and then once these get announced, again, make sure you pre-order them wherever you can because it's going to be really hard to find them.
Okay. So, looking at the logo, it definitely looks like it would lead me towards Rayquaza, but I also got to say the font for evolving looks like it's the Zarude colors or Zarude. I don't know how to pronounce that one yet because I haven't heard it said yet. When that movie comes out, I'll know how to say it.
Eventually, we'll watch it and review it. We'll get there eventually. But yeah, so new Pokemon set coming, exciting. Again, Chilling Reign comes out next month, so I'm more excited about that at the moment. But yeah, thought this was cool. And then next news story, according to a Twitter user, Kelios, plans are in the works for a new Pokemon Presents in early June, which would line up right around E3, like sometime around E3. Fans can apparently expect news on Pokemon Unite, as well as the release date for Pokemon Brilliant Diamond / Shining Pearl. Kelios accurately predicted a new Pokemon presentation for Pokemon Day back in February, which we did a react to. You can check that out on YouTube as well, too. And spread the news... Sorry, give me 1 sec, I lost it. And spread the news regarding Pokemon Legends Arceus just before the official reveal. He was also aware of the Nintendo broadcast last July, which would turn into a Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase. So basically, the whole point of that is Kelios is pretty well known, or has a pretty good track record.
Is a good
for getting
reputation
this right.
among
So, yeah.
Pokemon
Nice.
leaks.
Yeah. So
Oh, that makes me excited. I'm
Pretty
really
cool.
looking forward to these new games.
yeah, do we think it'll just be that, like Pokemon Unite and those? Will we get anything else? Will we get a release date for Arceus?
I don't
Tell me
think we'll
what
get.
happened to Pokemon Sleep, you guys.
I mean,
It fell asleep and never woke up.
maybe we'll get some more random mobile games like Pokemon Sleep or Pokemon Brush Your Teeth or Pokemon Go to the Polls. All
Yeah.
Oh no.
And
all that stuff.
The fact that they're talking about games in this makes me think it will be more games focused, like the one back in February.
Yeah.
So it would be cool if there was anything else other than just those games, but at the same time, I'm like,
So what I realistically expect to happen will be 20 minutes on Pokemon Unite, which no one beyond a very small portion of the audience is going to be actually excited about. And then we'll get the release date for Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and yeah, that'll be the end of it. That's what I'm predicting.
I think that's very fair to think that that's what it's going to be, is just information on those games because they're the ones coming out in the fall. However, it would be cool if we got something like Detective Pikachu 2, the game, I'm pretty sure was officially announced, but there's never been anything about it. So
Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah, it was announced, but they never nothing.
I could honestly see it for like a September release. Like they just announce it real fast and like it's like and coming out real soon. Nintendo likes to do that.
they do.
They
But
do.
I think I like the chances of them porting Detective Pikachu to Switch than I do,
That's fair.
Detective Pikachu
'Cause
2 coming out yet. Because honestly, like the one thing that Nintendo loves more than shadow dropping games or trailers
re-releasing games.
is re-releasing games on the
That's
Switch.
fair.
It's true.
And a lot of people
Although
probably
I've-
didn't really play Detective Pikachu.
See, that's the thing is they like taking
Yeah.
games that were good games by most accounts and then polishing them up and releasing them again on the Switch, where they now have the install base to support those games.
Basically the entire Wii U library.
Yeah,
Yep.
let's keep it going, right?
My prediction is that those games will come out on November either 12th or 19th. Those are both Fridays.
Yeah, that's.
So-
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing, especially Shining Diamond. Like that's pretty much like a lock for most Pokemon games.
Yeah, I think that's a good prediction on when those will come out. I don't know. I want to say X and Y might have come out in October, but they typically tend to come out in November at some point. So.
I
It was
remember
like
a couple of
the
them
end.
came out in October, and I want to say like maybe Black and White 2 came out in October.
They could have, with being like direct sequels. Maybe that's the
But
ones that did.
from a
come out,
retail perspective, you want to release if you want to have big Black Friday sales and big launch sales, you need to have your launch far enough in front of Black Friday that you can get 2 waves of purchases.
Well, so I'm pretty sure Sword and Shield came out like right around the 19th as well too, which
Yeah.
would have been like a week before Black Friday. But if that's the case, then that would have probably been, I don't know, like.
I mean, it's not like Sword and Shield was hurting for sales; it sold very well. But
Exactly,
I am curious, like, would they have done better had it been released another week earlier or 2 weeks earlier, and then have that initial wave of sales, and then have time to restock the stores before Black Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see it being the 12th then. That seems like a good like safe bet to release it 2 weeks before Black Friday, because it gives plenty of time for like the people like us who are just going to buy it day one regardless to get it, and then the kids who are like, I want this for Christmas, and then their parents aren't going to know any better, and when it's not on sale on Black Friday, they're still going to buy it because they're like, well, my
it's
kid
not
wanted
going to be
this.
on sale on Black
Exactly,
Friday.
that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying is that the parents aren't going to know any better. They're just going to see the game their kid wants and then still get it.
Yeah.
Like that's how a lot of it goes when people go out shopping. Someone who works retail a lot.
What do you think the price point's going to be?
It'll be 60.
You think it's still going to be 60?
It'll be $60.
100%.
Yep.
If Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee were both 60 as well, I think it will 100% be $60.
Yeah,
Sword
I mean,
and Shield.
I agree. I'm honestly concerned that they may, go even higher because games as an industry seems to be trying to move up.
I don't think
the
Nintendo
costs.
will do that until potentially a new Switch, like a reimagined version of the Switch. But since it's still the same console, I don't think the prices will go up. There will definitely be a $120 version that comes with both games or something like that. But
Yeah.
I don't think they'll raise the price of just the one games. But $70 seems kind of steep to me for remakes, anyways.
Yeah, that
But
was my thought. That was why I wanted to ask if you thought it might come in cheaper. But it is a Pokemon game, of course, and it's a Nintendo game, so
yeah,
probably not. Wishful thinking, maybe.
yeah. All right, so on to some Pokemon Go news. Luminous Legends Y event is rolling out in Asia Pacific from 10 local time May 18th until 10 local time May 25th. So this started 2 days ago. Various dark type Pokemon appear alongside Team Rocket spawns, timed research, and more. There are also new raid bosses to go with this event. So I just saw this one about the Asia Pacific. Jeff, you know more about Pokemon Go. Is this happening?
It's already happening. Yeah, it's
Okay.
already happening. I've already caught an Yveltal. So,
I just
shout
have
out to
friends
Boog Taco, who I don't know who it is, but I'm friends with him on Pokemon Go. He invited me to
Shout
a
out
raid.
Boog Taco.
Boog Taco. Good looking out, buddy.
Boog Taco.
Maybe I'll open it. Like I said, I try to just play when I can. I did. Oh, that's a good segue. How did the community day go?
I didn't make it out there.
Okay. I was gonna say I definitely missed it, but I didn't know if you were able to make it.
No, I caught a couple of Swablu from home, but I had other commitments I had to stick to, unfortunately. Real
Same.
big bummer, because I could have gone for that shiny Altaria.
Luckily, I already had one. I was glad to discover that last episode that I did have a shiny Altaria, but yeah, so cool. Get out there and like participate in this event if you want to catch a Veltal. I'll try maybe at some point to do remote raids with
I'll tell you,
people.
it wasn't the hardest raid that I've done in Pokemon Go. We got it. I got it first try. We had 5 people.
Okay.
So it's
Maybe
manageable.
maybe I'll do it.
Especially since you can
And
invite people to play remotely. If you find one in your area, invite me to it, Dustin. I'll jump in.
Okay. And then speaking of things that have happened since the last time, wait, real quick before we even go on, Ethan, do you play Pokemon Go at all, or are you just like casual?
I'm very casual with it, and I apologize to everyone that has sent me gifts, and I have not accepted them.
It's so fine. I'm basically like that right now at this point too. I've had no time to like play it. I get gifts and stuff like that, and they just sit there.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
I only open
when
gifts when I need more eggs.
That's fair.
my
But-
big issue is an inventory thing, like not having room to open the gifts to get the items.
Yeah, that too. And then then the game is like, buy more inventory, and I'm like, I don't play enough to do that. So
The most I ever spent real money on that game was when it first came out.
I don't want to talk about how much money I've spent on that game.
Well, fine,
I'm
then
like-
we'll move on. I'll go. Okay, fine, we'll move on.
Yep.
So since the last time we recorded, actually the last episode we recorded, right after we recorded it, the second song was released as part of the P25 music campaign for Pokemon's 25th anniversary. The song is now available. It's called Electric and is by Katy Perry. The song's actually kind of a bop. Like I was kind of surprised with how much I liked it.
I'm not that surprised by it. I mean, it's Katy Perry.
Well,
she knows how to make a bop.
I guess where I'm kind of coming from with that was with the Post Malone song. While I did like it, it was just a cover, so I wasn't really sure what to expect from this one. Like I wasn't sure if they were all going to be covers. I think we talked about this.
We did talk about that.
Yeah,
I'm glad
they
it's
all
not,
just been covers.
because as much as I love the song "Only Want to Be with You," the Post Malone version isn't like, it's not better in any way. I don't even want to say it's bad. It's just not better than the Hootie and the Blowfish one. So in terms of music, it's like, don't make a cover unless you're going to make it different enough to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, if the song comes on, I'm not going to skip it. But yeah, like it's not like I need to listen to that over the Hootie and the Blowfish version. And then also we have our grudge with Post Malone, so
yeah, curse you, Post Malone, and your copyright strikes.
so the song is the song's now available on all streaming platforms: Spotify, Google Music, iTunes. There's a music video available now as well too, which features Katy Perry and Pikachu reminiscing on their journey, flashing back to when she was young with a Pichu. Alongside this, there was some special merchandise that was released on a new storefront, like T-shirts, hoodies, tote bag, and Katy Perry's Electric featuring images, for Katy Perry's Electric featuring images of Pikachu. Ethan, what did you think of this song?
This was a good song. I'm
Yeah.
a Katy Perry fan though, so like I'm a little bit biased, but this was a good song. This song reminds me like a few years ago, Final Fantasy kind of did the same thing where they got
Ariana
Ariana
Grande.
Grande and Katy Perry to do a song like a Final Fantasy themed music, and that kind of brought those memories back. So
I often think of the Florence and the Machine songs as well.
oh, that
Final
too, and
Fantasy
it was
15.
around the same time.
Yep. Which that was really cool as well.
Hmm.
What about the music video? What did you guys think of the music video? I thought it was fun. I thought the animation on the
Fun.
Pokemon looked a little
It looked
not
like they used the
great.
sprites from Pokemon Go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have this movie. It's a little not well-known movie whatsoever called Detective Pikachu that has some of the best animation I've seen in a while. And this is what we got in
I
this.
mean,
music video.
they're not gonna invest in the
They don't even
budget.
have to do that. It doesn't even have to look that good, but still, like it. Other than that, I had fun with it. It looked like it was shot in like maybe Hawaii, which was fun. Like the whole tropical theme of it.
Yeah,
When I was watching it, I honestly couldn't tell if it was them reminiscing of their past or if she was literally just helping this little girl who like had a similar dream to her of like doing it. It was like hard for me to tell, but I was like, yeah, I guess it does make sense that it's like her going back in the past and like influencing herself to pursue a music career. Like, what else would you do if you could go back to the past other than find a way to make yourself a bunch of
I
money?
would invest in apples.
Yeah.
Right?
First
I would
thing
have
everyone
invested in
does.
Bitcoin a little bit earlier.
Ethan, when you turn 30, go buy Pokemon cards.
Just buy a bunch of boxes and
Speaking
save
of
them.
speaking of a friend of mine, actually today, I told her, I was like, they were talking about Pokemon cards, and I was like, yeah, you guys should, if you have old cards, like look at them and go get them appraised. And she sent me some videos today of like all of her card collection, and she's got a Charizard, like all these things. So I was like, dude, you should look and see if those are worth money, because you guys might be able to like,
Yeah.
if you have any debt, you could probably pay it off if you sell some of those. So, but anyways, any final thoughts on the Katy Perry song / music video?
Just that I'm looking forward to the next one. I know we've got more
Yeah.
musicians coming.
I wasn't expecting as long of a gap. If I'm
I
being
wasn't
honest.
either. Honestly, when they released the final like album or playlist, more accurately, like I'm worried that it's going to be like 6 songs, maybe.
I'm in a very similar
Yeah.
boat. I thought it was gonna be like one a month from the last one, and it was not that. So
I thought it was going to be like, because they have a compilation of the original themes from the animated series in an anniversary collection, and I thought it was going to be like that,
yeah,
where it was just a huge collection of different songs, either inspired by or covers, and it's not that. So that's a little bit disappointing.
I would love for them to include with all these new Pokemon songs, all of the best songs from the soundtracks for Pokemon the first movie and Pokemon the movie
Oh,
2000.
for sure.
God, I would love it so much if we got like, what was it was like a soda pop song or something like that. If we got, I don't even remember what it was, but if we got
The Aaron Carter song, is that the one you're
Oh
talking
my
about?
God.
it was those albums were literally like the who's who of like what pop star was popular at that
Yeah,
time.
Christina
Like
Aguilera was on there.
98 Degrees was
Yeah.
on one.
Britney Spears was on the first one too.
Yeah.
NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, I want to say, maybe at
Yeah,
least
that
one of
sounds
them.
right.
But
I don't remember that off the top of my head. But
But-
the point is, there was a lot of fun songs in there, and I wouldn't mind having a way to get those again all in one place.
could you imagine if one of the next songs was a cover of one of those though? How cool that would be! Like
Oh my God.
now I'm wanting that to be a thing. I don't even care what song it is, just one of the songs from the original movie.
I
Brother
want-
My Brother sung by like somebody else.
I was gonna say "The Power of One" from the credits of this movie, sung by Adele. Give me that.
Or how about just the Weird Al song at the end of this movie sung by
Sung
Weird Al?
by Weird
again?
Al again.
Or Lonely Island.
Oh my God. Stop.
Yeah,
Yep.
All right.
you'd be down for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now that we've gotten through all the news, I'm going to go into a little bit of facts and trivia about the movie before we get right into our reviews. So, facts about Pokemon the movie 2000. It is once again directed by, I'm going to butcher this name, I'm sorry, Kunihiko Yuyama, who also directed, I think we figured this out last time, directed pretty much every single one of the Pokemon animated movies, which is kind of crazy to me. I didn't know it was like the same director for basically every movie. So that's really cool. The film was released on July 17th, 1999 in Japan and July 21st, 2020 in the United States.
Nope, not 2020. 2000.
Or,
Whoa.
that was on me. Most of these show notes I wrote when I was very sleepy. So
Pokemon the movie 2000 released in 2020.
Can we get Pokemon the movie 2020?
I mean, if they ever went back and did it in like the CGI like they did with Mewtwo,
God forbid.
Well, let's be real here. The only reason they called the movie Pokemon the movie 2000 is because it was the year 2000 and it was like a big thing. It was called The Power of Us, right? And originally, or that's the
it was called
The Power of One.
The Power of
One. Yeah.
So.
I was talking to Islam the other day, and he's like, Pokemon the movie 2000 is the dumbest title like ever, and I was like, I know.
I mean, there's a Digimon movie that's literally just called Digimon the movie. So,
and there was Godzilla 2000. I'm just saying.
Fantasia
oh my god,
Fantasia 2000. That was a big thing.
Yep. All right. The budget for this film
was huge.
Yeah, the budget for this film was $30 million, and the box office was $133 million. May not sound like a lot, but anime movies in the United States don't typically do like huge numbers. Like, it's not going to do Avengers numbers or any Marvel movie numbers, but I mean, they made their budget back. That's for sure. If it was only 30 million on this one. So that's basically all I have for this. I did want to point out Jackson in the chat says The Power of Love, and I like that a lot.
I like that a lot.
Okay, I'm going to get into a little trivia for you guys real fast as well, too. This movie revealed Ash's mother's first name, Delia, as well as Professor Oak's first name, Samuel, which I did not know that they didn't have their first names before this movie until reading these show notes. But
Me either.
But it's funny because I wrote the plot for this before reading the notes, and I wrote Delia a lot for Ash's mom instead of just writing Ash's mom. And then reading that later, I was like, huh, that's really funny.
Well, and it's one of those facts that as soon as I hear it, I'm like, oh man, I'm going to have to go rewatch all of Indigo League and Orange Islands to make sure that they never said Delia or Samuel before this movie came out.
Hey man, so yeah, full disclosure, these are just from the IMDb like trivia thing.
Yeah. I mean, they're probably correct, but it was just like in Star Wars when like Star Wars Episode 3, General Grievous, acts like it's the first time he's met Anakin Skywalker, and then I have to think through every episode of Clone Wars, did they ever cross paths? Now I have to rewatch the whole series.
They did not, and that was
I know.
That was a big limitation for them, actually.
I was happy to have discovered they managed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You just blew my mind.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Speaking of things I did not know, Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen were both considered for the role of voicing the role of Lawrence III, aka the Collector. So that would have been awesome. That would have been so cool if we got one of them in the role.
Especially the year 2000 was like when Ian McKellen got big, like huge again.
Well, both Patrick Stewart had just done X-Men, and they both had just done X-Men. I'm sorry, they both just did X-Men, and then Ian McKellen did Lord of the Rings right at that time.
The thing I have to do is put myself back in the mindset of when they were younger, because I'm just picturing old man Patrick Stewart, old man Ian McKellen's voice with this. I'm like, oh, that's not right. Oh, wait, that's right. They were young once.
Mm-hmm.
And then speaking of the Collector's real name, Lawrence III, is never once used in the film. It was revealed in promotional materials. So that was another thing, too, where I was like doing notes for this. I was like, we get a voiceover from this character. And I was like, what is his name? And then eventually he's like, I am the Collector. And I was like, okay. And then he never once said his name. So I was like, all right, I guess his name's just the Collector.
So as soon as you hear the Collector, am I the only one that wants a Pokemon MCU crossover with Benicio del Toro, the Collector?
Yeah, that would be good.
I'm like, oh, cool.
This last little piece of trivia I have before we get into the plot, this one I actually knew ahead of time. There's a really, really good Did You Know Gaming, like that channel.
Yeah.
Did an entire episode about Lugia, and it's really good. I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. But the original creator of Lugia, Takahashi Shudo, wanted Lugia to be voiced by a woman, having wrote the character with the idea of a maternal goddess, but the studio went with the male. They go into a little bit more detail with this, and basically the Pokemon Company / Game Freak / Nintendo, someone there basically didn't think that it would sell well to kids because Pokemon's like primarily like a boys thing, which years later, we know that that's not the case whatsoever. They just didn't think that it would sell well. So that's kind of a bummer. I think Lugia would have been like spoilers for this movie that we're going to review. But when Lugia's voice pops up, I'm like, little generic, little boring.
Yeah.
Like, I think it could have been a lot cooler.
I kind of like it.
I do
I
like
mean,
the
it's
collector's
cool.
voice.
You know why I like it? Because it's easy to do an impression of. The song has awakened me.
It's like, yeah. Of characters in this movie that I appreciate the most, it's definitely the collector's like voice and everything like that. He kind of reminds me of like a Metal Gear Solid character. So if anybody here is like Metal
Yeah.
Gear Solid, he kind of
Even
reminds
has
me of
a Metal
character.
Gear Solid base, like just random.
Yep. All right. We've kept everybody waiting long enough. Let's get into the plots. First, we're going to start with Pokemon Pikachu's Rescue Adventure. I did that without having to read the title,
Yay.
if I can remember. Ash, Tracy, and Misty decide to take a break from their
Real quick.
adventure. Oh, yeah.
This is just as a reminder. This is the short that played in theaters before
Yes.
Pokemon the movie
And on the
2000.
I believe the DVD and VHS both had it. There's actually a trivia that in one of the trivias they talk about when this came out on Blu-ray, they didn't add this, and people were very upset that the shorts were not added on these. So
I'm mad every
one of
time I
them.
watch on Amazon Prime. I'm like, why don't they just put the short before the start of this?
When
I
watched
have.
on
Oh, go ahead.
when I watched on Amazon Prime yesterday, it wasn't a part of it, and I was like, "Wait, this is wrong."
So I have the Blu-ray Steelbook that came out a few years ago, and I really wanted it, so I picked it up, and it does not have the shorts either, and it's really bummed. Like literally, the options are play and scenes, and that's it. Like there's no shorts, there's no special features whatsoever. And I'm like, man, like it would have been so cool if they had that. But anyways, let's get back into it. I also want to point out too, for people that did not watch the anime, Tracy is a character that gets introduced in the Orange Islands episodes. That's why there's no Brock in this. He's not in the movie or the short. So
He is in the movie.
Well, he's in the movie. Okay, cameo. Brock is making a cameo. However, he's not in the movie.
Right.
As like a main character. Ash, Tracy, and Misty decide to take a break from their adventure. While doing so, Togepi gets distracted by some ladybug flying around and rolls down a hill. Pikachu and the other Pokemon follow behind, and they all fall down a tunnel before we're treated to a pop song and the opening credits. When they hit the other side of the tunnel, they are caught by the ladybug and carried to a giant tree, and that's where we're introduced to the logo, basically, of the movie / short, whatever you want to call it, just the short of this. One thing I will point out is that there's not the weird transitions in this one, which is nice.
Yes, but what I do like, just right here from the beginning, is they again don't actually show you Ash, Misty, and Tracy. You get the silhouette. That's it.
Yeah.
Because I like the consistency that the shorts are going to be entirely focused on the Pokemon.
I forget how ridiculous these shorts are until I start watching them again.
They're pretty weird.
Like they just get so weird, and I'm like, I'm here for it, but they just get really weird. So
also, I love that it was basically the same plot from the first short. Togepi wanders off. That's run it back. Let's do it again.
Togepi's a problem. Okay, we need to stop Togepi.
Togepi gets away with a lot because it's cute.
Maybe that's why Togepi eventually gets wings, so that it's not like rolling down hills and like getting lost.
It's constantly getting lost.
Okay, inside the giant tree, we meet Elekid. Squirtle breaks out its dope Squirtle Squad glasses, which is really cool. Go ahead.
Just real quick, I don't know, like, why is the root system of this tree like fall like 1,000 feet down through a twisting, tunnel and then open up into like the hollow earth from the King Kong Godzilla movie?
I was eventually waiting for them to see the ground up above them again as well too.
It's like, how did that work?
I kind of just didn't question it.
Pokemon world, Jeff.
Because they also fell down that tunnel for a really long time.
That's what I'm saying. It was like a mile, maybe?
Yeah. It really didn't make a whole lot of sense. But, I mean, I'm here for it. They get... Do they fall through the side of a hill, and then that's when the ladybug catches them, right? And then they fly to the tree? That's how it happens?
So the ladybug come in... You see the ladybug before they go into the tree. You see a bunch of ladybug, and then they fall through this, twisting tunnel, and then they pop out and land on Ladybug again. So I have to assume... And then
Ladybug flies them to the tree, right?
Flies them down. The tree's already... This is after they fell through the tree. Because remember, Psyduck comes rolling down the hill. Psyduck comes running down the hill. Psyduck, and then slams into them, and they all fall into the hole.
Oh, this is probably a good point to bring up too. I have it here later, but Meowth shows up real quick as well too, and Togepi rolls into Meowth, and then I think Meowth gets stuck there as well too, or something like that, and
He gets stuck hanging on a tree branch.
Yeah. Yep. Anyways, so I put inside the tree. Are they not inside the tree when they meet Elekid?
They've gone through the tree and are now in Hollow Earth Pokemon World, wherever it empties out to.
Okay, then I have a lot of inside the trees in here, or parts of being in the tree. So maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
It could be inside a tree. Like what I'm saying, I don't know what kind of root system we have here.
Okay. So, anyways, Squirtle breaks out the dope Squirtle Squad glasses. We get a return of those. That was awesome. Basically trying to square up. Pikachu decides to make friends with Elekid. A bunch of the other Pokemon come out to greet the crew, to which Pikachu and the squad are awestruck by, which I thought was kind of cool, like seeing all the other Pokemon just show up to like greet them when they show up there.
You don't mind if I interject with thoughts, right? Because
I would love you to interject with thoughts.
Okay, cool. Because we got Elekid, right? I believe this was one of the first times that we've seen him.
I think so as well. So it's similar to like Don Fan showing up in Pokemon the first movie.
So I was pretty stoked about seeing Elekid, but then it got me wondering this time, how do they decide which Pokemon are going to say their names and which Pokemon are going to make other noises? Because like Elekid says VVV VVV. I was like, okay, does he speak Eevee?
And there's another Pokemon in this that does something similar, right? Too like
I just don't know how they decide it. Which ones they're going to make different noises and which ones are going to say their names.
I will say the noise that Moltres makes in the main movie is really cool.
All the birds in the main. We'll get to that.
Amazing.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I did put it in here as well too that Meowth was there. Gets stuck in a tree over a waterfall after being hit by Togepi. Elekid gets Pikachu and the other Pokemon to follow deeper inside of a cave, I guess, because I thought it was also inside of a tree, but maybe I'm wrong.
So
they go.
Was this before or after like the camera like goes through a bunch of tree branches?
I think it does.
And it just shows a bunch of Pokemon, and I swear to God, they are just the pictures of the Pokemon, still images of the Pokemon pulled right out of the Pokedex.
And the budget did not go to the transition.
It did not go to the transition on that one.
Okay, what did I have here? They eventually get to the place where Elekid was leading them, and they find Togepi's in a nest of a bunch of Execute. And they basically refuse to let them take Togepi. I thought this was pretty cute. The whole like them essentially taking Togepi in is like one of their eggs, which you don't really know that that's why they're doing it until the end. Like you're kind of just like, I guess they just think he's part of their crew.
They just thought he's an egg, so he must be one of them. Yeah. Also, shout out to Squirtle with the quick thinking. He counts them. Hang on, they're missing one. Squirtle's the smart member of the squad in this one.
Yeah. The Squirtle Squad, is that what you would call it?
The Squirtle Squad.
Okay. All right, Pikachu and the company head back into the tree I put again, but it could be a cave, tree/cave. I'm just going to say that every time from now on. Find a very beautiful stream and a waterfall with 3 blossoms in front of it. The blossoms then proceed to sing and dance, which is a very catchy tune as well.
Okay, this part was cool.
Yeah. Ethan, feel free to interject anytime you have a
please.
Okay. This was, I'm like, as soon as they start talking about the dance number, that's like, I appreciate any movie that has an impromptu like.
I got it stuck in my head so hard, man.
What I couldn't believe was like
it
just
was so good.
I get nostalgia a lot with Pokemon stuff, obviously, but like watching this scene, I was like, I remember the song. I know, like I could sing along, like I'd heard it yesterday.
That was my thing. I was like, I remember this like so vividly. Like the rest of it, I was just kind of like, oh, I don't really remember what happened, but. Like as soon as that started to happen, I was like, "Oh my god!"
It's funny because I was the same way last time when in the short film before Pokemon the first movie with the Executor Oddish. I remembered that whole thing before that scene even started. I like totally had that memorized. So the Blossom thing though too, I totally remembered. It was great.
Yeah, but that song's an absolute bop for sure.
Yep. They proceed to sing and dance with the other Pokemon joining in. The song is also a banger. I have that in the notes. The song ends with a fountain show that's pretty cool. So you see in the background a bunch of Pokemon like launch up on like top of basically fountain. Somehow that just shoots out, but I assume
it's getting shot out by water Pokemon.
Yeah,
they're shooting the spouts up and they're lifting the other Pokemon up on the.
They're getting a whole Vegas show. You guys.
Oh yeah, they rehearsed this.
And this is where this is what I mean about these being so random. Like, what was the point of this? Like,
They're like, friends, we have a
yeah.
show.
They're like, hey, we've been rehearsing this in case anybody ever decides to come into this area ever. We've been so
No one ever
lonely.
comes.
Okay, Pokemon leave the cave and run into a bunch of Clefairy. So I put here they somehow blow them all outside. Do they use Moonblast?
Metronome.
Metronome? Oh, okay, I gotcha. Because I was like, in my head, I was running through this and I was like, did they all just evolve? And then they like, by them all evolving, it just like blew them out of there?
Exploded.
Like, what happened? Like,
No, I think
I
it
was
was
kinda
Metronome, and they accidentally used Fissure. That's my prediction.
Fissure 6 blew them out of there. Luckily, our heroes land on some springy vines and are able to jump back onto the tree. They then run into Meowth and get him unstuck, but land on a Snorlax that launches them off. Basically, there's like an entire section where they're like launching.
They just keep bouncing off of stuff.
Yeah.
Wanted to point out, I think the Snorlax here is actually a shiny Snorlax. I was looking at it and I was like, boy, the colors, it's a darker blue.
Green?
It's a darker blue.
Oh.
Whereas you get the sort of light green is the normal color of Snorlax.
Yeah.
So I actually think this was a shiny Snorlax. And, I didn't catch that until this time.
Snorlax is just the King Kong of the situation since this is Hollow Earth.
This is his Hollow Earth.
Yeah.
It's a giant hand for him to grab. Sorry, spoilers for Kong. Okay, they also are launched off again, and they launch into the water, and they land on Gyarados' back. They're riding on the Gyarados, Pikachu electrocutes it, and then they're all launched off again as well, too. Somehow the heroes make it to the tree/cave, but Meowth just disappears. I didn't really get that part. They just like kind of there.
Team Rocket blasted off again.
He even says that, right? Doesn't Meowth say it right here?
I think so.
I'm blasting off alone is what he
That was what it was.
That's super sad.
So then they're back on top of the tree, and a really gnarly storm starts that proceeds to blow away all the Execute nests. All of the other Pokemon try to help and hold the nests in, including Snorlax, the Snorlax from earlier. Lightning keeps striking, and Pikachu and Elekid end up using their own electric powers to deflect the lightning. Jeff,
I have to ask, what are these nests made out of?
I don't know.
Because
you would think that the wind would just destroy them.
If the wind is strong enough to lift them up.
If a Snorlax is having a hard time, like
they're made out of steel wool.
Yeah, like what are the they're so well constructed, and who put them together? Did the Execute make the nests?
I would assume not. I'm gonna assume no, but I could be wrong. So, yeah. All right. So they use their own electric powers to deflect the lightning and instead start a fire. Meryl and Squirtle, thinking really quickly, put out the fire. Togepi is blown away, and all the Pokemon form a monkey chain, basically, to catch them by essentially just all going out to grab it. Snorlax at the back gets distracted by some apples flowing by.
Love that moment.
Pikachu has to hold on and bites its teeth into a branch, which I also thought that was really funny as well, too, and cute. Until Snorlax decides at the last second to grab them again. Bulbasaur loses grip and Pikachu catches the nest, and Snorlax is able to finally get them down just as the storm ends, and we see a rainbow and a Dragonair. What do we think of that whole part there?
I mean, it was exciting as any part of the short.
Cool.
But I was really seeing Dragonair fly. I think this was the first time I had seen Dragonair fly, and I was like,
weird,
this doesn't look right.
Yeah, I didn't love it either.
What did you think, Ethan?
I loved it because
those little wings carrying that Dragonair.
It's so cute, you guys. Okay, I had to go back to when I was 9 years old, and I'm not overly thinking about it, and it's just it's cute. And then you have a moment where, or at least I was a rainbow, this Pokemon. I'm like, oh my god, this is so gay. But it's
yeah, and it was awesome. Like I said, the first time I'd seen Dragonair fly, and as a kid, of course, I thought that was the coolest thing. But as an adult, I'm like, boy, how hard is this poor Dragonair having to flap those wings?
Yeah.
It's so winded.
I'm gonna be a Dragonite now.
Yeah.
He's like, okay. I better evolve after this, you guys. This is ridiculous.
So moving on in the plot, Togepi and Pikachu are reunited, and Chansey returns the missing egg. So that's where that missing egg was. From the Execute that Togepi had been replacing. When the egg is returned, it causes the Execute to evolve into an Executor. Pikachu and the gang say their goodbye to their new friends and head back through the tunnel to get back to their trainers. Meowth washes up eventually on the land as well, too. That's again where Meowth just kind of disappeared and then ends up floating down the river, which comes back to like a campsite. And makes some joke about like never going camping, or this is why I always hated summer camp, or something like that. I can't quite remember what it was, but something along those lines.
So they fell down a hill, into a tree, into Hollow Earth, and then into a river that leaves Hollow Earth and returns to the surface of actual Earth?
Was this just Homeward Bound?
This is Homeward Bound,
like
the Pokemon edition.
In Pokemon?
But I feel like at least in Homeward Bound, they actually cared that the people were gone.
Yes.
Ash and them just wake up. I even have that in the notes. Ash and the gang wake up from their nap and are none the wiser that the Pokemon were ever even.
They have no clue.
Yeah. And that's where it ends. It just ends right there. They wake up, the Pokemon are all playing in the river, and that's it.
Ash,
what are your thoughts overall on this,
I'm
guys?
just wondering how Ash, Misty, and Tracy slept through that storm.
Right?
Ash, Misty, and Tracy are the worst Pokemon masters.
The storm was only in Hollow Earth. We're fine.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, the tree catching on fire, all of that, it was all in Hollow Earth. Ash, they didn't even have to worry about possibly being blown away by
you're right.
wind.
So when they fell through a tree into Hollow Earth, and then they were brought to a bigger tree on the wings of Ladybug. That's right. You were right about that, Dustin. Yep. I'm picturing it now.
Or it's all just a fever dream and none of it really happened. But
it's a dream that all the Pokemon shared while they were drowning in that pond.
Exactly.
This is just Pokemon
It's just really depressing story where Pokemon all actually died there. They just
But they got saved at the last minute.
Yep.
Movie time.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's just get right into the movie. Do you guys have any final thoughts at all about that before we get into this?
Cute.
Yeah.
It was really cute.
Same as the first one. It was just
I give it more credit than it deserves. 100%. It's all nostalgia for me. I love those shorts.
It's basically just an episode of the anime if the
minus the humans. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so that makes it feel special.
Yep. It's basically just getting an extra one. It's kind of like cashing in on the Pixar, shorts before their movies as well.
And then it also, back when the movies came out, it was a way to add length to the runtime of the movie.
And that's the thing, is that these movies, the runtime on both of them is under an hour and a half. So
right,
to take up that theater slot or whatever, I feel like they wanted to get closer to that hour and a half time. But yeah, I thought it was fine. Anyways, let's get right into the movie. All right. Our film opens with a VO from a new character telling us about a legend that we will hear a lot about, or we will hear about multiple times in this movie. Disturb not the harmony of fire, ice, or lightning, lest these titans wreak destruction upon the world in which they clash. Though the water's great guardian shall rise, quell the fighting, alone its song will fail. Thus the earth shall turn to ash. So that's a very, very popular thing that's going to be said throughout this movie.
I mean, pretty cool legend. Pretty cool legend.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. And I did 100% just say vest. Or what did I say here? Yeah, lest these titans. A word I'll never say ever again after.
Lest.
Yeah, okay. I think it's a cool...
you say to pass your SAT.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. I think it's a cool legend, and it does set up some higher stakes for the movie.
I think it's part of the reason why I like this movie so much, is the stakes of this movie felt like, it's not even to say that there wasn't big stakes in the last movie, but I think the stakes for this movie just felt... I guess the difference for me would be that Pokemon, the first movie, is all isolated, and this one is involving the whole world.
Right.
Even the poster for this movie was really cool, and it the Pokeball Earth is like a Pokeball, and it was just really cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, you can go ahead.
This movie is basically well, I said yesterday on Twitter, it feels like a Legend of Zelda adventure. We'll get to it later, but there are things that happen, and I'm like, this is just straight up like Legend of Zelda. But even more so, it's a disaster movie set in the world of Pokemon.
There's even a specific instrument that reminds me of Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, I mean, it's 100% a Legend of Zelda story. You're collecting the Triforce, using the Ocarina.
You're
This is-
waking the windfish.
Yeah.
And
Like-
it came out right after, which is so crazy to believe that this came out right after Ocarina of Time. In my head, there's like a big gap between those two, but I guess it really wasn't. Anyways, we learn that this character is hunting the 3 legendary birds, Zapdos, Moltres, and Articuno. His computer tells him that Moltres is the nearest one, so he attacks the island with a cannon that shoots ice from his flying airship, which looks really cool.
Really cool flying airship. But
really
honestly,
cool.
all the technology that Lawrence III here has is really freaking cool. Like the dude had an Alexa
Put some respect on his
like
name, okay?
15 years before Alexa was made.
Yeah. Alexa, tell me
Yeah.
where Moltres is.
Alexa, tell me the legend of the 3 Titans.
He's like some Tony Stark level, like,
For real.
type guy talking to his
He really
computer
is.
system there.
He's got the Minority
is the-
Report map going. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His ship is like one of the only objects in this film that's like completely CG. Like,
Yes.
God, and it looked
was-
so good.
There
It
was
did.
there was a note, I think, I want to say in like one of the trivias that talked about how the original release didn't have as much CG. Like I think it was like there was like a later version of it or something like that that added some more CG. So it does make me wonder if it looked that good when we were kids or if it has happened since then. I can't
Maybe
remember,
they've
like,
improved
what-
it to match what I pictured it
Maybe-
being in my head.
yeah.
It's basically like
Because
Lucas going back and redoing things in Star Wars. They've just been
Yep.
slowly doing that to Pokemon the movie.
Added
2000.
way more
I-
Pokemon into every scene.
I was gonna say I rewatched it yesterday and I was like, I don't remember there being this much like CG on.
I
his
remember there being
actual
some.
ship.
I especially remember like the spoilers for the end, but like the giant tube of water. I remember that
Yeah.
always being like CG.
Yeah.
Well, and I remember seeing the fortress for the first time and thinking, "Wow, that looks like CG." But I also remember as a kid thinking, "Wow, that looks really good."
Yeah, like
Maybe-
it never.
maybe I
it
was
never
wrong.
looked bad. But also, I mean, it still could have because like when I still watch Jurassic Park, go back and watch Jurassic Park, like the CG in that movie still holds up. So
Yeah.
it's like, but again, we're talking about Pokemon. We're not talking about Jurassic Park, but still. Okay. Where did I leave off here? Shoots ice from his airship. He lures out Moltres and continues to shoot it with ice blasts before sending out these like giant ring-looking things to capture it and brings it back to his ship. We learn his plan is to capture all 3 of the birds in order to lure out Lugia, and then we're treated to a dope rock song in the intro. So it's just a variation of the like theme song of this movie, which plays a lot in this movie.
Yes.
Which is Lugia's song, right?
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
just what it is.
That's half the reason I love this movie so much, honestly.
Yeah. And then we're treated to the whole Pokemon, the movie 2000, the Power of Us, I think is what they call it. In
Power
this
of
one,
One.
right? Like,
Power of One.
Power
is it the
of
Power
One.
of One in this one?
Power of One.
Sorry, the Power of Us is the newest animated movie that came
Yeah.
out a couple years ago before Coco. What's it called now? Jeff, what's the
The
American
new one,
name for it?
Secrets of the Jungle or something like
Secrets
that.
of the Jungle. Yeah, so it's called Coco in Japan and then Secrets of the Jungle, which is really funny to me.
I mean, they have
Anyways.
to because we already have a Coco.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why it was really funny to me.
That would be really confusing.
All right, we then jump to Ash, Tracy, and Misty on a boat on their continued adventures on Orange Island. I'm then reminded that Tracy is amazing because Tracy has a Scyther.
Mhm.
Also, the Pokemon World Song is a bop. They let all
Yes.
the Pokemon out of their Pokeballs on the boat.
This is when I'm reminded that Ash has a Lapras and
Yeah.
never uses
Uh-huh.
it enough.
Yeah,
He only uses it in the Orange Islands arc, and that's like
Yeah.
it.
and here's where I'm once again reminded, and Jeff, I think you can back me up on this, that we need to just get rid of Ash and the Pokemon anime and just
Oh,
start with the new
Okay,
canon.
so fun fact about this movie I found out is originally they did not want Ash, or the creator did not want Ash in this movie at all. They made him do it.
Well, so we talked about this on the last one that Pokemon the movie 2000 was originally or Pokemon the first movie was supposed to act as like a series finale. And I think it was more so
Ooh.
a series finale for Ash's storyline. So
Mhm, that makes sense.
I could have totally seen them going with like somebody else and not using Ash in this, but
And it would
whatever.
I mean, but then they wouldn't have been able to make the world shall
And
turn its
that's-
eyes to Ash.
So I wonder how much different the
or
plot is in the
world turns
Japanese
to Ash, whatever it is. Yeah.
Because what's his name in the
Satoshi.
Satoshi, yeah.
The Japanese version says,
And that's the
and then the
should
world
turn
turns to Satoshi.
Oh Jesus! So they let all the Pokemon out.
Oh,
So that they can swim and enjoy the nice day. The nice weather doesn't really last long when a storm arrives, and they all have to bring their Pokemon back into the Pokeballs. I have a quick question here. Do any of you guys remember the captain of the boat's name? What's her name? I cannot remember it for the life of me.
Oh my god.
I can't either. I don't think they say it.
I
Do they?
can't either. They only say
actually
it like
say her
once,
name.
I think.
Yeah. Anyways, I was just because I keep putting like the captain of the ship or like stuff like that because I honestly can't remember her name. So whatever. They bring all their Pokemon back. We're also introduced to Team Rocket briefly in this scene, and then they're all the boat's basically blown off course towards Shamoody Island. Okay. Next scene we get here is we travel to Pallet Town and we meet, or where we see Delia and Mr. Mime doing some yard work when Professor Oaks arrives. Professor Oak, not Oaks. Professor Oak arrives to say hi.
I just remembered something I wanted to say. So like they get pushed off course, and you know they get caught in another storm. Does anyone get involved in more shipwrecks than Ash and his friends? Like, I swear to God, every time they're on a ship, you know what? I take it back. I already know the answer. Team Rocket gets into more shipwrecks.
Okay, I was gonna say there's
a lot of shipwrecks in this movie.
I watched the English version of this, and Team Rocket makes a bunch of year 2000.
Oh,
culture.
In the first movie, they make a lot of jokes as well too, like the Vikings being from Minnesota and everything like that.
They get knocked off course, and he's like, "I've seen this movie. I don't like this," and I'm like, "Oh, it's because Castaway came out the year
that came out."
There was a piece of trivia that was talking about how they like straight up reference another movie, and it's because everybody on the production like loved that movie or something like that, so they did it. And I can't remember what movie it was, but it was like essentially everybody really liked it, so they decided to add it in there. Anyways, okay. So Professor Oak arrives to say hi. After he arrives, the weather starts to change from a sunny day to a rainy day to a blizzard. I put that in there because sunny day, rainy day, blizzard, the moves that you use. I thought it was clever. Before going back to the sunny day again. Then, for some reason, an army of Diglett straight up just jacks Professor Oak's bike. Professor Oak tells Delia that the Pokemon sent something very wrong somewhere.
So they stole his bike. I mean, cool.
I can't remember if it was before or after this moment, but then like the Magikarp is spinning. The Magikarp ship that Team Rocket's in. It might have been before.
Before this, I think it's when they're all getting blown towards the island.
Right. Okay. But I made a note because I wanted to mention
army of like Magikarp as well too that show up.
They made my favorite Team Rocket joke ever, where Meowth asks if they have carp insurance.
Yep.
Jesus,
it's so good.
I still, to this day, I think the Minnesota joke from the first one is my favorite.
The Vikings?
Yeah. I think they live mainly in Minnesota or whatever. I just love that one so much. Okay, jump back to Shamoody Island where we see some people arrive in costumes. They're like more like tribal looking costumes that scare our heroes before the captain of the boat recognizes one of them. And we find out it's a festival. We meet Cool Girl Melody. I put Cool Girl like that because like she totally just like gives off that vibe of like meeting one of those trainers in the Pokemon games that's like
she is totally like 90s cool.
Yeah,
Breakfast
like
Club.
She's got her glasses and
Breakfast
like,
Club
like,
is 80s.
Well, let's be real. Like every kid from the 90s is obsessed with Breakfast Club.
Sure. But she's definitely like she's an early 2000s preteen.
Her name is Melody, by the way. I wanted to throw that in there as well too.
Yes.
Melody is the cool trainer. That I said that she's, and I have in here as well too, that she's too cool for the traditions as well too. She definitely seems like she doesn't really care about the traditions of the island.
She could have been the main character for this.
I think that she cares, and she's trying to play it off like she doesn't. Because that's how preteens worked in 2000
a lot as well too. So maybe she's just trying to impress Ash.
And I want to applaud her forwardness. You know what?
Yep.
After is a big dummy.
Yep.
He would never have picked up on those signals. He's gonna need the girl to be forward.
Yep. After we're introduced to the new character Melody, the villagers find out that Ash is a trainer and say that he's the only one that can help the spirit of the ocean vanquish the beings of fire, ice, and lightning. Melody kind of hits on Ash, I have here, and then assumes Misty is Ash's girlfriend, which really upsets Misty. The gang joins the villagers for dinner, and we learn that Melody is a pro ocarina player. I have here as well too.
Yeah.
She definitely knows how to use the C buttons from the N64 for sure.
Song of Storms like a pro, man. What did I have here? Tells Ash that he needs to get the 3 glass balls, and that I skipped one. 3 glass balls from each island, and then bring them to the shrine. When there, she'll play a song, and then once again continues to flirt with Ash. I have here as well too. Ash decides to leave that night and asks the others to join, but Misty, being jealous, which is kind of weird, like it.
No, I mean they hinted at that in the show. Like you definitely you knew that Misty has a crush on Ash. Everyone knew that.
I mean, I guess so.
I mean, she doesn't want to admit it to herself. Everyone knows it except for her.
Yeah.
That's fair.
She says no thanks right before Pikachu takes off and Ash follows. And then they all get on. They're basically Ash and Pikachu get on a boat, and then the boat passes Team Rocket on its way out, and we are basically reintroduced to Team Rocket that they're still here. Which they're on their way in on the Magikarp boat, and this is the part where I was like, wait a minute, somehow they end up on the other boat, right?
Yeah, well, they sneak into the boat because they're climbing onto the deck, the pier, and then like they hide inside the back of a boat.
That's right. And then right here, I couldn't remember if he was shown at the beginning, but this is where I put it in the notes, is that this is where we get introduced to a very concerned Slowking. So this is where we first meet Slowking as well, too, in this movie.
Him.
I do, too.
Yeah. Slowking's great in this movie. Like, definitely an underutilized character.
And he talks. Like, most Slowkings don't do that.
Well, at this point, I thought that all Slowkings were going to talk. I thought all Slowkings were going to talk.
Pokemon Journeys?
Not all of it, I'll admit.
There's a Slowking episode in that one as well too that Jeff loves.
I despise that episode.
I love this.
But I love this Slowking for sure.
Yep.
Slowking is like the quest giver. He's like, come back to me when you have it.
Slowking is the owl in Ocarina of Time that's like telling you what's going on.
Slowking is it's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
Yep. After we meet Slowking, we jump back to the island. Melody, Misty, and Tracy decide that they're going to chase after Ash. And Team Rocket is hiding on the boat. Jump back to the villain, which we'll just call him the Collector, I think, from this point now.
I'm going to call him Lawrence the Third, now that we know that's his name.
Lawrence.
Sorry. Let's rewind. Everybody forget what I just said. Everybody forget what I said. We jump back to Lawrence the Third and his cool airship, where we learn he has found Zapdos. The news report tells us about an underwater phenomenon that is causing the weather and Pokemon to act strange. Ash's ship is beaten by the storm, and they crash onto an island. Ash and Pikachu run off on the island. Melody and the other gang aren't far behind, or the rest of the gang aren't far behind. Melody rides the wave like it's a half pipe. They too also crash, so that's 3, 2, or how many boat crashes are we in this movie, Jeff?
This is the third shipwreck.
The third shipwreck in this movie. Okay. Shipwreck Cove, we'll just call this island from now on, because we're just constantly getting those here. They crash on the island, the same island as Ash did, but they get stuck on a high rock. They use the ship sail to glide off the rock, which was so stupid. I'm sorry. Like, they used the wind to blow them off and then also continue to go up the stairs using the wind.
That's kind of Zelda logic. I mean, it's like King of Red Lions match.
So I wanted to talk about this because it's like Misty... Oh, no, hang on. I have it in my notes. It's just basically that Melody says, I'm able to navigate through a storm like this because I've been around boats my whole life. And that's like, to me, that's like saying I'm able to hack into the Pentagon because I've been around computers my whole life. There's no way that this...
Wait, Jeff, don't say that on our podcast, man.
Sorry.
Disclaimer, Jeff is not able to do that.
I am not able to hack into the Pentagon. Just very clear about that. But yeah, it's like, I've been around boats, so I can navigate this horrific storm. And I'm so good that I can fly boats.
I mean, fair.
That's Melody's arc there. That's her story.
Keep in mind, all these kids are like 10.
That's true. They're all 10 years old. And so they're all doing these crazy things that no 10-year-old should be able to do. But then you remember that in the Pokemon world, 10-year-olds get kicked out of their house to go on adventures around the world.
I'd probably have a kid already if I was allowed to kick them out when they turn 10. Just kidding. That was a bad joke. I'm sorry, everybody.
That was a great joke.
I couldn't help it.
It was good.
Okay, so they're blown off of the rock using the sail. They continue to go up the island. Ash continues to chase Pikachu across the island, followed by Team Rocket. There's a really good joke right here as well too, where they start to say their catchphrase, and Ash cuts them off and says, "I'll catch it on home video" or something like that, and it's
Now we're on
really
the big
funny.
screen.
Yeah, and
I'll
he's
get
like,
the DVD.
yeah, I forgot to catch it on video or something like that. I thought it was really funny. Yeah, where did I have it here? They reach one of the orbs. Oh, go ahead.
I saw another thing in my notes right now that I missed earlier.
Yeah.
When they're in the big party, like, you know, and they're having their
Yes.
feast and everything, they pan by one of the tables, and the girl from the boat, she makes a joke. Like, she's telling a joke, and it ends with, and she says, "No, but I have crabbies."
Yeah, I thought that was really funny too. I was like, what?
What?
That was for Ethan's dad who took him to see this movie.
That's exactly right.
That was for the parents.
I did not appreciate that joke.
Went over my head.
I did not catch that as a kid. Sorry, go ahead.
It's really funny. No, it's just funny because you know that wasn't in the Japanese version. You know, like they wrote that for the American version just for like the parents that had to bring their kids and stuff like that.
The like parents that are like, oh, I don't want to be here.
In the Japanese version, was she still telling a joke, or did they just completely go off script?
Or they're just telling
like
a
some
fun
serious
story.
moment that they've like.
And that's when I knew that I wanted to be a sailor, you know, or something like that.
Okay, Ash finds one of the orbs. Finds one of the orbs on the pedestal. Ash removes the sphere, and it glows red in his hand. Why do I have? Oh, Team Rocket shows back up. Oh no, I guess. So they were just following. So this is where they actually show up, and this is where he delivers the sick burn of telling them, "I'll have to catch it on home video." They're interrupted when Melody's ship reaches them. So when it flies up like that, and then right afterwards, Zapdos flies over them, spewing lightning. Pikachu, in an effort to protect Ash and the gang, tries to electrocute Zapdos, which seems real dumb. But go ahead.
So I just wanted to shout out, because we mentioned it earlier, like Moltres, the sounds Moltres made were really cool. The sounds Zapdos makes are like kind of frightening, because it sounds like Zapdos is in pain.
Could you imagine if this was a live action like kaiju movie though? Like it would probably be kind of scary.
It would be really cool.
I would love, I mean, like, total sidebar, but if like the Detective Pikachu movies ever do like actual legendaries, like show the birds in live action.
I was hoping for more legendaries like that. That would have been really cool as well too.
I just wonder, was Zapdos' sound effects, like, how did they make that? Was that a person, like so many of the other Pokemon, a person? Is that just a person screaming incoherently in the sound booth?
So I know one of the birds is the same voice actress as Jessie.
Okay, so now I'm just picturing that the voice actress for Jessie's in the booth screaming. Ah! Ah!
She's like in a bird costume, getting into character.
So like, and I only figured that out because one of the moments where Team Rocket goes off screaming, you can hear the same noise, and then I looked it up, and it turns out she provided the voice for the birds.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hold on, give me 1 second. So then basically Pikachu decides to try to protect Ash as well too by electrocuting Zapdos. It has 0 effect. Where did I have it here? Sorry. I lost it. 0 effect. Zapdos lands and Pikachu tries to speak with him. It tells Pikachu that Moltres is gone and the island is now Zapdos's. The Lawrence III, or the Collector as he's called, shows up, drains Zapdos' power, and then captures him. On the Collector's ship, we see Zapdos and Moltres in cages, as well as Ash and his friends. So when he captured Zapdos, he captured them as well too. They got brought onto the flying ship. The Collector comes down to show off his collection to them, starting with the ancient Mew card, right? He talks about that in this scene.
I started with a Mew card, and now I have all this. And what I thought was so interesting about this scene was right before he shows them the Mew card, the writers of the Pokemon movie decide they're literally going to tell you that all the things you love about Pokemon are bad.
Yep.
Misty immediately criticizes him for treating Pokemon like a thing to collect.
Like, yep. And you're like, this is when all of us threw away our Pokemon cards.
So that part happened, and I'm like, oh my god, this character, like Lawrence, is just an audience member, or in our case, like he's that guy at the Target collecting his cards.
Which again,
And now,
that's
by the
why
way,
I like this guy so much.
And they literally gave us the Mew card that the villain is talking
Yes.
about in the movie.
So that's another thing as well too. I read this in the trivia. I'm pretty sure that they only gave away that Mew card for like the first week, and then they gave out like different birds. So like if you went and saw
Yep.
it after the first week, you got like bird cards, which I think I do remember that.
I have
Like, you got
3
all
of those
three.
Mew cards.
I don't have any
Yeah.
anymore. I wish I still had some, but I don't have any anymore.
I
I've
had
seen
the
some
Mew
for
card,
sale
and
or for sale at other
then
places.
I tried to go back to get the bird cards. I remember, and my dad was like, "No, I'm not going to see that movie."
We're
again."
not going to see the movie 4 times,
He's like,
Ethan.
he's like, listen, Ethan, I don't need a nap today. We're not gonna go see this right now.
I actually had a really good nap at work, so we're we're gonna skip that one.
My
So
dad's
after
not allowed to listen to this.
We're not making fun of him, we swear.
No, I relate to a guy needing a nap. I totally
Me
get
too.
that.
Me too. Articuno is seen flying around in a blizzard, and then we see a news broadcast showing all kinds of different Pokemon gathering around and traveling to the 3 islands where the phenomenon is coming from. Some of the Pokemon are just staying as close as they really can be. Like, they'll just go to like the edge of the water, so if they can't fly or swim or anything like that. Go ahead.
So have we gotten to the part where the helicopter's flying in with Samuel and Delia, or
This is
Ash's
so.
mom and Professor Oak?
This scene right here is where they're on the helicopter.
Okay.
Like, basically going over the.
So what's happening in the world?
Yeah.
And so like I wanted to touch on this because like Professor Oak has like his tablet and he's like drawing like here's what's happening here. See,
Yeah.
fire and ice make water, so that's why all of the water in the world comes from here. And then there's lightning, which circles around the current somehow and keeps it from rising out of the water.
I mean,
I had to find a way to
listen,
explain
Jeff. This
to
is where I
kids.
learned all of my science was this movie. So, are you telling me it was fake?
I'm telling you. Well, no, the fire and ice making water, that part's good. The part
Okay.
about lightning preventing the oceans from rising out of the water, that was a stretch, I think.
Yeah, you're probably right. Professor Oak tells us on the news broadcast about the 3 islands that are home to the legendary birds. He tells us that the two of the islands are rumored to be the source of all oceans. That's basically what Jeff just said. We also learned that an imbalance of the 3 birds could cause the flood in the world. Oh yeah. Sorry, this one's really good. I forgot about this. Slow King makes a joke about needing pants because it's snow on the island.
Some pants.
The island continues to be covered in snow, and the collector continues to search for Articuno. Ash and the gang decide to try to free the other 2 birds, while the collector attempts to catch the last bird using fire cannons.
And guys, how does Ash attempt to free Moltres? It's the
Using
classic move.
Punches it.
Ash move, tackling it.
Oh yeah. Remember that time he tried to punch Mewtwo?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing, Ash? You have Pokemon, dude. What are you doing?
Pikachu goes, "Wait, hold on. I have a better idea."
How about me and Charizard, blow it up instead of you throwing your body at it?
I'm starting to figure out that Pikachu is the brains of the operation.
100%.
Yeah.
Just because Pikachu doesn't speak our language doesn't mean he's not
Yeah.
smarter than
Doesn't
Ash.
speak our language in this movie.
True.
Yeah.
We'll get there in like 30 weeks. More than that, probably. So yeah, basically the collector attempts to catch Articuno using fire cannons. Under the ocean, we see something form in a vortex that starts to head for the surface. Or like one of our other hints that Lugia is eventually going to show up.
I mean,
in this movie.
we've heard the whale sounds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we saw like the silhouette at
The
one
silhouette.
point
By the
earlier.
way, that the artwork when you first see the silhouette and like you can just make out the outline of Lugia in the current. That looks so cool. I would pay someone to paint that for me.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this and want to paint that for Jeff,
Hit me up at Good Game Grizz on Twitter.
Okay, where did I go here? All the trainers bring out their Pokemon on the airship and are able to free Moltres. Moltres then frees Zapdos before the 2 blow a hole in the ship and start to destroy it from the outside. The ship crashes on Lightning Island, and Ash and the gang are able to escape. They run off the ship before it crashes into... What did I say here? crashes into another island where Ash and the gang are able to escape. They run off before the ship crashes. Sorry, I was typing this while really tired. Then there has the shrine that's holding the sphere there. Ash then collects the lightning sphere, and the three birds fight above him. The gang gets to one of the boats.
This is after Articuno gets absolutely wrecked.
Yes.
By Moltres and Zapdos.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, and then you figure out like there's this Game of Thrones like rivalry between the birds.
Yeah.
I was like, which honestly, is kind of cool. Guys, there's a whole big world out there. Maybe pick another island.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're literally like the three siblings that just live near each other, and they're just like mad at each other. This is my island. They get to one of the ships and then fall off a cliff and are caught by the vortex.
Shipwreck number 4.
Shipwreck number 4. Yeah, correct. That places them on the island where the orbs need to go. So this is basically the vortex carries them to the island that Slowking is on. So this is where we are basically introduced a little bit more to Slowking and like a little bit more of the story of what's going on here. Slowking is there and tells Ash to place the treasures in the spaces on the shrine. Slowking calls Ash by his name, which throws Ash off. So he like knew his name, and Ash is like kind of like, how did you know my name? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Slowking's just been waiting there for like hundreds of years. He's like, one day,
Jeff, you raised your hand. Did you have?
No, I'm withdrawing the comment for later.
Okay. The three birds continue to fight and almost hit Ash, but he's saved at the last second by the great guardian Lugia. Lugia makes a sound that resembles the song that Melody played earlier. Again, the song of Lugia. Leaning more into the legend. Or wait, what did I have this here? Leaning more into the legend she had been told about. Oh, okay. So like she basically starts to believe a little bit more in like that she needs to like play this song and that it is actually true, and that Ash basically the whole like the legend or whatever saying the world shall turn to ash is referring to literally Ash. So which is
there's part of me that thinks, wow, that is some Deus Ex Machina, nonsense right there. But then there's the other part of me that's like, that's so cool. Ash is literally the chosen one.
Yeah. We get treated to Lugia fighting the other birds, giving Ash time to get out to the final, or basically start heading towards the final orb on Ice Island. Since Lugia can't stop them on his own. The birds appear to beat Lugia as it's sent flying into the water. We learn the line from the legend, and thus the world shall turn to ash is literally referring to Ash, as we just said. So he's the only one who can help Lugia stop the three birds from fighting. Melody plays the song, and it restores Lugia's strength.
The song has brought me back, or whatever he said.
Yep. Lugia tells Ash that if he can get the final sphere, it will help give Lugia song the power to bring back harmony and balance. Ash doubts himself, and the gang tells him that he can do it. Basically, like the typical anime/kids show trope where they doubt themselves, and then their friends are like, "Where are your power?"
This is like his Dragon Ball Z moment.
We're behind you, but we're going to stay here. You go ahead.
Yeah, you go.
Ash heads out using a piece of broken ship that's being pulled by Bulbasaur and Charizard, right? Is that the two Pokemon he has pulling it?
He has Bulbasaur sitting on it with him and is like lassoed around Charizard, who's pulling them.
I thought there was two.
Squirtle is there too.
Yeah, what was Squirtle doing? I don't remember.
Just vibing, man.
Just vibing. Got his glasses on.
It's pulling him across the ice to get to the island. Professor Oak's helicopter, affected by the storm, crashes into the island, and Team Rocket gets the idea to use the helicopter.
Crash number 5.
Yep. Very true. Luckily, it wasn't a boat this time.
Not a ship this time. So, but still, automobiles, ships, planes, all very dangerous in the Pokemon world.
Ash is attacked by the birds before Team Rocket can get there and is left stranding. Team Rocket arrives with a boat propelled by the propeller itself, or I put but by the propeller, the helicopter propeller, to pick Ash up and give him a ride. The birds try to attack him, but Lugia comes to his aid.
I just want to shout out, I really like that they gave Team Rocket a little redemption moment here where they're like, okay, we got to help.
I like that they basically just made like one of those like old like hoverboat things from
it's
from the Everglades in Florida.
Or from the hit film Rumble in the Bronx starring Jackie Chan, if you understand that reference. But sorry, I couldn't help it. Where was I at here? Sorry.
Team Rocket is propelling them with a helicopter.
Yes. I lost myself
Because it's the
here.
end of the world, and if the
Yep.
world ends, they can't
Yeah.
collect Pokemon.
Yeah, him and Team Rocket reach Ice Island and go through the cave to reach an orb at the top of the island. And they're literally, when I say go through, like they're literally on the boat still, like going through the island to get to the top there. Ash gets to the orb and starts to head back down before he's attacked by the birds again and loses the ship. 5?
This is shipwreck number 5. Vehicle crash number 6.
Okay. Yeah. He basically finds a way to get down the mountain. He like runs down the side of it. Lugia arrives to give them all a lift. Team Rocket realizes they're slowing Lugia down, and they decide to make the ultimate sacrifice, dropping themselves off. Luckily, they land in the ocean.
Yes,
This
but
is really
they
good
also make one of the greatest jokes of the movie. When they're like, "We're too heavy. We're slowing Lugia down. We should try Weight Watchers. I think it's too late for that. I heard it's never too late if you really stick to the program."
Yeah, that was really good too.
That was good.
I like how they just straight up are like too, and they're like talking about blasting off, and they're like, and it looks like this time we're gonna die. And you're like, oh Jesus! Like, they
We're
literally
totally ready.
yeah, they just talk about how they're just straight up gonna die in this movie, and you're like, oh okay.
And then I think the blast off reference is blasting off for good, and then they just
Yes.
do it.
Looks like Team Rocket's blasting off for good. Yeah, that's what it is.
And then, but fortunately, there are some Pokemon down there that have saved them by clearing some of the ice so they land in water.
The ice, there was enough room in between the ice for them to land in the water, so they're able to not die.
This is my real world logic. If this was real, they would still
would have died.
Speaking of all the Pokemon, this is where we see all the Pokemon that had basically been like heading to the island. They're all just kind of hanging out there waiting to see if they can help in any way. Lugia tells Ash, where did I have here? Lugia tells Ash he's the only one that can make the difference. Ash and Lugia reach the island with the shrine, but are thwarted by the collector as he fires his capture rings at Lugia. Lugia uses Aeroblast, which is super cool to see in this movie. Like that was such a cool shot.
There's a couple of moments where Lugia uses like the try whatever it's called the energy beam attack that he does. Looks so cool.
Yeah. Uses Aeroblast and is able to hit the ship. Lugia is still brought down into the water, and Ash is left unconscious in the water as well. With Pikachu, Misty swims out to save him, and they're reeled in by Tracy. Misty is able to get Ash to wake up, and her and Tracy help Ash up the island. And by that I mean they literally just follow him and like support him if he needs it. Like he like stumbles at one point, and he stumbles a little bit. They try to help, and he's like, no, it's fine. I can kind of do it myself or whatever.
Could have been a real Samwise Gamgee moment. I'm just saying. Could have picked them up and carried them.
I can't carry those orbs, Mr. Ash, but I can carry you. Ash puts the final orb into the shrines. All the orbs light up and create this green water that clears out the snow and lights up the pillars around the shrines. Melody plays her songs, and all of the pillars start to grow different, like glow, basically with the song.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. Yeah. They glow green. This scene's really cool, honestly. Like all the music playing and everything like that.
And it transitions into the horns instead of the ocarina, and it's so triumphant. Oh yeah. God, I love
this. This is my favorite piece of music in the whole franchise. So,
I agree, Ethan. I totally agree.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's so good.
All three of the birds who are beaten down wake up. The storm stops, and the green water starts to clear all the ice covering the ocean. The three birds take flight and are joined by Lugia. Lugia goes to the island and picks up Ash and Pikachu and flies around the giant like cylinder tube thing of water that like shoots out, which
I thought was the whole thing they were trying to avoid, right? Like they didn't want that to happen because it was going to cause flooding all over the world.
I don't know. I was also very confused. I think it would just looked cool.
It did look cool.
They added in there.
Also,
all the Pokemon.
I just love that Lugia comes over and is like, "Hey, let's go take a victory lap." Hop on my back.
Let's go do a Harry Potter flight real quick.
Woo!
We see the Pokemon start to return to their islands. Basically, we see all three of the birds fly back to where they came from. Which I guess, I don't know. It just seems like they the song just made them not want to fight anymore, I guess. Was that it? It just calmed them down?
It tamed them.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
that was the legend.
Yeah, I know, but still, it's like, it just didn't feel like there was a whole lot of like.
I'm
They
just saying,
still
man.
totally hate each other. They're just like, oh, you're so lucky. You're so lucky she played that damn flute.
You've never heard a song and been like, you know what, things are going to be okay.
I mean, I definitely have, but
That's
you know
exactly
you're
what
right.
happened
You
with these
convinced me.
birds.
You convinced me. All right, you convinced me.
Also, I love that all like they cut to each of the birds and they're all kind of like cooing in a way that's it's kind of like, oh, dude, my bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Listen, man, I was just really mad about this one thing.
I overreacted.
I guess the song does make sense because the collector is really the one who disturbs them, anyways.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
so it just chills them. All right, I get it.
Yeah, this is all Lawrence's fault. I mean, this whole
Lawrence the Third. Listen, Lawrence the Third's not a bad guy. He's just us trying to collect the Pokemon.
you know.
I mean, he is going to start a cataclysm. By the way, is this movie an
Then-
allegory for global warming?
Kind of.
Kind of. It was the year 2000, and that's
Yeah,
when
right?
people started to pay attention.
In Pokemon Detective Pikachu, they make a joke about like, at this point, how can you what is it? At this point, how can you not believe in climate change?
Yeah.
That's what he said. I thought that was pretty funny. Okay, the three birds return home and the song ends. We see things start to return to normal. Lugia bids farewell to the heroes and heads back into the ocean. Ash is reunited with his mom and Professor Oak. This is actually where I think I saw a note on this, but this is where Delia, Ash's mom, tells him to come home after every region, and then the notes I was reading says that he actually does from this point on, and between every series he goes home.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's
that's
because
kinda
she literally was like, "Look, the world almost ended. You got to come home." Like,
But it's funny
eventually."
because these movies are never really treated like canon, but these earlier ones do kind of seem like they are a little bit more. So
I mean, the first movie literally never happened to him because Mewtwo was like, "You won't remember any of this."
there's a
But-
note as well too.
And
that
he also
says
sent
that-
them back in time, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one of the other ones I saw as well too talks about how like later on, I guess both Ash and James like talk about meeting Lugia on the Orange Islands and like a random episode of the anime. So I don't know.
I'm just saying,
Well-
if you're the chosen one and you save the world, and there are multiple witnesses, I'd be telling everyone.
Oh
Everyone.
like, hey, remember that time that guy saved the world from there was a whole legend about it turning to Ash? I was Ash.
I was Ash, and you
It's
know
like,
you know how you know that, because there was a news crew that was on the helicopter with Professor Oak and my mom.
Who
It's
literally
like Harry
filmed
Potter
it.
in book 6 when he's like, "Hey, I'm the chosen one," and he uses it.
I am the chosen one.
Yeah.
Okay, Ash is reunited with his mom and Professor Oak. Misty tells his mom that Ash just saved the world. She tells him that every day he's her hero, which I thought was kind of cute that like his
That's
mom said
cute.
that to him and everything like that. Where did I have here? Delia and Oak head back to Pallet Town. We see the collector pick up his ancient Mew card and vow he'll start again, which
Head back to Pallet Town to
Spoilers.
continue their torrid love affair.
oh geez. We could do a whole podcast almost about that.
Probably.
Don't forget, Professor Ivy was here too.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. That's
yes,
yeah.
thank you.
Let's go back. Let's go
Mhm.
back. Jump back to when they're showing like the news broadcast or like before the news broadcast. We see Oak call Professor Ivy, and you see Brock in the background as well too.
And Brock's struggling with the Pokemon that are all freaking out. That was the cameo for Brock.
Yeah, that
Thank
was
you
cute.
for reminding me. And then yes,
Mhm.
Professor Ivy's also on the island. She's on the helicopter with them,
Yeah.
flying over there as well too. So she does have a role in this as well. I'm sorry, I completely forgot about Professor Ivy when writing this.
I like the voice actress for Professor Ivy. I don't know what else she's in,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
she does the snooty scientist voice very well.
It works. I definitely agree with you there.
Yeah.
The collector picks up his ancient Mew card and vows to start again. Team Rocket talks about how no one will ever know what they did, but Slowking informs them that so many people saw what they did, referring to the audience. I love that. They like literally look at the camera.
That was awesome. But also, I want to
That
go
was
back
cool.
to Lawrence picking up the card and be like, guess I'll just do this all over.
Over.
Yeah.
He learned nothing? No one's going to go arrest this guy? No.
Yeah, I was confused by that too. He's like, man, my plan failed. I guess I'll just have to do the same
I guess I
thing.
still have billions of dollars. I'll just rebuild my airship and just start over.
Good thing I have Flying Fortress insurance.
Did they have to hire like a specific crew to just hang out around those islands to make sure that he didn't do it
He
again?
never comes back.
Yeah. Huh.
Just saying.
Yeah. Didn't even think about that. Yeah, so Team Rocket and Slowking, there's that whole scene with that, and then the credits start to roll. That's the end of the movie. But then at the very end of the credits, we have like the whole scenes where they shows the characters like roaming around and stuff. And we were treated to a great Weird Al song called Pokémon.
Yep.
And it's
Oh,
kind of
it's
Weird Al,
so
he does
good.
songs, so he does one about Pokemon.
I just
That's
wanted
it.
to say I loved the Power of One song as well. Like, honestly, that is some R&B gold, and
It
very
felt very,
underappreciated.
It felt very Free Willy, didn't it?
It did.
Do we know who sang that song?
I mean, it was in the credits, but I'll be honest, I was just too busy singing along.
Well, okay, guys, give me your thoughts on this. Ethan, let's start with you. This is your favorite animated Pokemon movie. You're the guest. What did you think?
This is my favorite, and it's still my favorite. Like, the stakes are high. This for me, no other Pokemon movie. I mean, okay, maybe the third one, but this is like, it's just so good. And this was such a nostalgia trip. And just for the song at the end alone, it's like 10 out of 10.
I mean, I gotta echo a lot of those same sentiments. This is my favorite animated Pokemon movie as well. And Lugia is. I said this I think I tweeted this, that every time I watch this movie, I'm reminded that Lugia is like my favorite legendary Pokemon until I watch the third movie, and then I'm reminded that Entei is my favorite legendary Pokemon.
Yeah, and 2 and 3, but this isn't about 3. But
right,
3 is pretty good
but
too.
So I'm just saying, so like just the fact that Lugia was the main legendary Pokemon in this in the first place I was super stoked for this in the first place because I already loved Lugia.
Yeah.
So it gets points for that. It also gets points for having a pretty cool story. Like, yes, it's a little cliche, hero's journey, chosen one nonsense, right? But like, it's fun all the way through, and there's good humor. Yeah, I love it. I think all around this is my favorite animated Pokemon movie, maybe my favorite Pokemon movie.
Yeah, I kind of just echo what you guys say. I love Pokemon the movie 2000. I have very fond memories of this movie in general. I was actually talking to Heidi, my fiance, the other night about this, and I know I saw this movie in theaters, but I don't remember being in theaters watching it. I just remember like the event of going to it and then afterwards talking about it. But I do have a vivid memory of going to my grandma's I want to say it was like right around that time that this came out on VHS. And we went to Toys R Us, and she was basically like, all right, I can get you one movie, and it was this or Fantasia 2000. And my sister, who was 9 years older than me, so at that time she would have been like 18, and she was trying to get me to get Fantasia 2000 because she thought Pokemon was stupid. And I was like, no way, I'm getting this. And I remember just watching it on loop at my grandma's when I was visiting. I adore this movie. I've watched it 2 times this year, and I'm not even tired of it. Like,
no,
it's so good. It's so much fun. I did want to update us on our figuring out who sang the song. It was Donna Summers, who's actually a very famous musician. Donna Summer, not Summers. I'm sorry. Donna Summer.
Honestly, this put this movie up there with any Oscar-winning song. This song is as good as any of those, especially all the Bond songs that won Oscars. The Power of One is easily as good as Goldfinger. Okay.
Yeah. Again, overall, I love this movie. I still do. I think I always will. I think it will always hold a very special place. The only time, I mean, this is potential future spoilers for like any sort of rankings, but the only time a movie's come close to me to making me feel like this excited about a Pokemon movie was Pokemon the movie I Choose You, and it really is because it's a retelling of the original like anime, and I think it gets a little bit of points for that. So I don't see this one really moving much.
I mean, I think it's going to be our number one.
Which by the way, we are going to rank these. We're going to rank this against Pokemon the movie or the first movie. So yeah, this is my number one as well too.
And Pokemon the first movie is fantastic. I do love that movie. You heard us talk about it in our review of that. but I like this one better.
Yeah. And like, if it wasn't for the fact that I just have such a special like memory and place for this, honestly, the first 3 movies for me probably it could cycle, but I love this movie. It's great. This is definitely
Yeah.
my number one. So I think that's going to be our ranking for now. So this will be number one, and then Pokemon the first movie is number 2.
That's
All right.
ironic.
Yeah, I know, right? Swapping 'em. So we're gonna dive right into our last segment of the day, which is rank that Pokemon. Theme song pending. We'll eventually get one for this, and it'll be great. So as you
We've done
come to
16
realize
episodes,
at
and we
this
keep
point,
saying we're
yeah,
definitely gonna have a theme song for that.
that's gonna be the running
Definitely.
joke until spoilers, it never happens. So also, if you've been watching the show, you know that we're only doing the top 10 Pokemon from now on. There at this point we've already reviewed 17, so
17
we're
Pokemon.
gonna keep it to just the top 10 for the time. Number 10, we've got Poliwag with a 3. Number 9, Hariyama with a 3.5. Number 8, Dewott with a 3.5. And number 7, Rookie D with a 3.5. Number 6, Shieldon with a 3.5. Number 5, Rockruff with a 4. Number 4, Floatzel with a 4. Number 3, Galarian Zigzagoon with a 4. 2, Sirfetch'd with a 4. And 1, Squirtle with the perfect 5. So we're going to rank Clamperl today. Guys, Pokemon number 366. How do we feel about Clamperl first before we really get too into this? Do you guys have any affinity at all for
Let me
Clamperl?
pull them up on the Bulbapedia for the folks at home to see that if you're watching the video. So here's Clamperl. I mean, Clamperl's cute as far as
It's a cute Pokemon.
water Pokemon go. It's pretty cute. Also, its evolution is cool in that it can evolve into Huntail or into Gorobus. If you need a reminder, that's
So
Huntail.
that's what I like about Clamperl as
And
well.
and this is Gorobus. So, both are not going to be like my favorite Pokemon ever, but I think I always want to give points for a Pokemon that can evolve into multiple lines. So, that's my feeling on it is it earns at least some points for that. And looking at our top 10, there's a point in our top 10 list where it's like it's very clear to me that a lot of these Pokemon are not going to be in the top 10 in the future, right?
Yeah.
In fact, I would say most of them will not be in the top 10 of the future. But right now, I just don't know if Clamperl can get like higher than any of these. I might put it above Poliwag.
See, it's hard for me because I like Poliwrath
Yeah.
so much. So I don't know if I would put it above. Ethan, what do you think?
I'm honestly, for me, this would be at the bottom probably.
Closer to the bottom.
It's cute, yeah.
And I think
Out
that's
of
where I'm at with
all
it as
the
well
ones you
too.
guys
Is I
have
think it
already,
is
like this is one that's probably closer to the bottom.
I mean, it's certainly not like people don't use it in competitive.
No.
You're not going to make it. I don't think anyone makes Huntail or Gorobus part of their final team either. Like this is a Pokemon that you
No.
get to complete your Pokedex.
Right. Exactly.
So,
No,
what
and
number
then,
rating do we want to give it?
I think for me, honestly, it's like let me look at what else we have here. It would probably be like a super low 3, like 2.5 to a super low 3.
That's what I would agree. Like a 2.5
Like
maybe.
For me, like font.
Sorry, say it again.
Do I like this Pokemon more than Kufont? Like, is kind of where I'm at.
And I'm like, yes, I definitely like it better than Kufont, but I'm a Kufont hater.
Then yeah,
so.
I would put this Pokemon right below Zigzagoon, right above Kufont at a number 13.
Yeah, I think I'd give it a 3. I'll still give it a 3 overall for myself, but I think that you guys were leaning more towards 2.5, right?
I mean, I'm fine with a low 3. I do like Huntail and Gorbos.
Well, yeah, but like you said low 3, maybe 2.5, and Ethan's like 2.5. So I think that brings it down to
I think it does
2.5.
average. Yeah, 2.5 is fine to me.
So 2.5 and put it just below Zigzagoon. Like I said, I can find myself making an argument that I like it better than. I might even like it better than Poliwag, but I like if I'm giving points for Poliwhirl, if I'm giving points for Clamperl being able to diverge into 2 different evolutions. I mean, so does Poliwag eventually.
Exactly.
So and Poliwag has more evolutionary stages.
I think I like Poliwrath and Politoed more than I like
100%.
the other 2. So, okay, I think we should put this at a number 13. Anybody have any objections to that?
No.
And
No objections.
We're doing a 2.5 on this one, correct?
Yep, 2.5.
All right, so our top 10 has not changed.
Well,
Poliwag.
This makes it the first time that we haven't had a change in the top 10, right?
Yep. Yeah, I think so. No, wait. Yeah, I think you're right. I can't remember if any of these have been added since. But anyways, number 10 is a Poliwag with a 3. Number 9 is a Hariyama 3.5. Number 8 is a Duat with a 3.5. 7 is a Rookie D with a 3.5. 6 is Shieldon 3.5. 5 is Rockruff with a 4. 4 is Floatzel with a 4. 3 is Galarian Zigzagoon with a 4. 2 is Sirfetch'd with a 4. And 1 is Squirtle with a 5. Squirtle will not be dethroned for a while.
It's going to be a long time before Squirtle gets dethroned.
Yeah. So that's it for Rank That Pokemon, and that's it for the podcast as well too. Ethan, what?
Go ahead. Except we want.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, and then also I wanted to mention as well too. So we talked about this a little bit earlier. We will obviously next month be coming back to continue the reviews of the animated films with Pokemon. What do they even call it? It's like Pokemon the movie 3.
I think it was Pokemon the 3rd movie.
It's Pokemon
something of the Unknown, right?
Tower of the Unknown?
Oh my God, it's like Tower of the Unknown or something like that.
Well, Pokemon 3, whatever you want to call it.
It's Pokemon 3 the movie.
Yeah, Pokemon 3 the movie we will be reviewing next month at some point. And then Jeff, did we have anything we wanted to promote for the next episode as well too before we get into like giving all of our where to follow us?
I was like, if we did, I've forgotten it.
Okay, I didn't know if we had a plan for next week's episode on guests or anything like that.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, perfect. Just making sure. Ethan, where can people keep up with you? What do you want to promote?
I am going to promote my Twitter, and it's just twitter.com or at Ethan Brannon. And then my Twitch is at eBrannon22. And I was supposed to be streaming the original Mass Effect, but I decided to hold off because this is my first time playing the beginning of the trilogy, and I'm going to stream all of Mass Effect 2 when I hit that one.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That's not like people wouldn't watch, but I think Mass Effect 2 is more fun for people to watch.
That too, and I kind of want to experience the first game all by myself.
Yeah,
I was thinking about streaming the first one as well too, and I think I was in a very similar boat where I was like, I'm just going to play this.
And honestly, I love the game. I'm sad that it took me this long to play it, but there's a lot of dead space in between stuff where you're just walking to the next thing, and I'm
or like driving around the Mako.
Yeah, and I'm like, this isn't fun to watch. So
that explains why you guys weren't watching me stream Mass Effect 1 as
I have
been doing.
It was because I was playing it, Jeff.
I know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Excuse me, Jeff. I was watching you play Overwatch last night while playing Mass Effect.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but yes,
Jeff,
and Ethan, you've also appeared on some other podcasts. Do you want to shout out those particular episodes?
Yeah. Oh yes, I have appeared on, and probably will again, once they start talking about Marvel stuff. The Penultimate Conquest, their Marvel Mondays stuff, because Loki's coming, so I'll probably appear on some of those episodes.
But you can already go to Penultimate Conquest on YouTube and find the episodes that Ethan has already been featured on.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, we have some friends that that do that show over there, and
there was one episode where I was supposed to talk about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and then it turned into a Destiny podcast.
It's a good game though, so that's not the worst thing. Jeff, what about you? What do you got to promote?
Just the usual stuff. Please follow me on Twitter at GoodGameGrizz. Please follow me on YouTube at Remember the Film and Pod-ket Monsters. please subscribe to us on YouTube. And then like we were talking about, I'm streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/GoodGameGrizz. if you're watching it live, thank you for already watching our show here live on my channel. But I will also be streaming more Mass Effect this weekend. I'm also going to be playing some Knockout City, which is releasing this week. I'm going to be playing that with some friends online. So a lot of good games to watch on Good Game Grizz.
Yeah, and so for me, I would like to also promote the Twitter that we have for Pod-ket Monsters as well. Again, you can keep up with us when we're going live and everything like that. Guests we're going to have, topics we're going to have. Please feel free to follow us and write at us with topics. We'll be honest with you guys, sometimes there's weeks where we're like not exactly sure what to do for that week's topic. So if you have any ideas, we'd love to hear them. And then again, if you ever want to guest, just DM us. Like you can DM either Jeff or myself, or just the page itself, and that's a good place to basically find it. I'm not really going to promote my Twitch because I don't know how much streaming I'll be doing. I'm getting married next month, so a lot of these weekends coming up, I'm not really going to have a whole lot of time to stream, so that's going to be kind of hard. But what I would like to promote as well too is, this is a little bit more serious, but do some research, look into everything that's been going on in Palestine. If you can promote or can donate to what's going on and help the children over there as well, we would greatly appreciate that. It's a very serious topic.
Write to your congresspersons.
Yep.
Even if they don't write you back, like mine didn't.
Yeah.
If you really want stuff like this, to stop, write to your congressman.
Yep.
Write
and
to
even
your
if
congressperson.
just even sharing any sort of like links to donations or just helping educate people to maybe let them know what's going on, it goes a long way. So if you can do that, that's really the only thing I want to promote this week is that. So that's going to do it for this week's episode. I know it's kind of a little bit of a downer there to end on, but I think it's really important. It's really important
to talk about,
to know what's going on and everything like that. If you are watching us live, Jeff and I will be opening packs. Ethan, you're more than welcome to hang out. I know you probably don't have any packs to open, but we'll be hanging out and doing that. So bye, everybody.